It's really nice to be here. As you asked, my name is John. I work with Kids Royal Tropical Institute in Amsterdam, where we work on agricultural health systems as well. Today, I would be talking about this title, which I thought a lot about before I could decide. Solving problems actually means care. And for those of us who are here to study the spatial engineering, and those who are graduates, I think this would resonate a lot with you. In the application to become a student, these were some of the keywords that came up in the program: natural disasters, conflicts, and epidemics. And my mind immediately think of this book, which says everything comes from somewhere, which says that all of these things, nothing falls from heaven. Even if it falls from heaven, it lands on earth. So these things come and happen somewhere, disasters and all these things. And that's why we are geographers. We are spatial engineers. And in that sense, every problem comes from somewhere. And the next question which I'm talking again about is who actually gives the care? And you would all agree with me that I and you, as a spatial engineer, we are the ones who actually are meant to actually give the care to everyone. And we do this by becoming experts, by becoming consultants, by becoming researchers, whichever thing we eventually become. The ulterior motive is to be able to be solution-oriented and provide care to solving problems. Now, who needs care? Well, this is perhaps the biggest question we should always ask ourselves. And the summary is every person needs care, actually. Struggling to decide where to stand now. Oh, that's true. Smart. Yes, thanks. So every person needs care. There's this conference I attended, and the key words from there were one life, one earth, and one planet, which is one earth. Every single person deserves care. Our environment, where we live also deserves care. So we need to be concerned about the human health. My experience with studying leptospirosis here for my master's also made me to be more exposed about how not just diseases comes from how we interact, but also from animals and our environment. Also, when we talk about climate change itself, it's really about our earth, that we need to care about it. But more importantly today, we think about people who actually are in danger or at risk of a certain problem, which we started talking about in the first slide. Now, and how do we care? It's good for us to understand the problem and determine potential solution pathway. These are things we learned about during this program. It's just good to look and think about it again and see how we actually do this. We observe and analyze local patterns. We actually go to those places, just like the presenters have said, and not everything is written in Word. And then we also co-create interventions. This is the key thing for us, not just to actually create something that works, but also something that can be sustained. It's for us to go there and to really plan with them. So I'll give 4 projects which I currently work on that tries to address these ways of caring. First, in Pakistan, we had some projects there where we talk about tuberculosis there, and there is a huge burden of tuberculosis there, which we also call TB. And for us to actually understand the problem, we need to estimate how much of that exists there. And then we try to determine one of the solution pathways to actually increase access to health services. We also did quite a robust project on how to improve that analysis. Then we also want to actually observe local patterns. We do not think, the general idea is that people who are farther away from health facilities have low access. But when we actually go there to actually observe there using monitoring through the telecom mobility data connected to satellites, we see that actually that is not always true. And then from there we can co-create the interventions that would be relevant for them. Just some maps, simply because we are spatial to see. We see the burden in different places, and for example, there are some, maybe that also need care. We also see there are some places that have high rates of this TB in different parts, and this is the first step in which to understand what is the problem. And then we also did some studies to actually think about what is the access to care. And then when we compare places where where there are cases and places where that they have access to care. We do not see any clear correlation here because we see that the diseases is occurring almost everywhere. And therefore, we have to go deeper to the next stage to analyze some local patterns. And here we see how people travel to different facilities and to also understand their mobility. And from this, we can see some places, some people actually prefer to go further away, even though there are some facilities that are nearby to them. And finally, we came up with this intervention planner that helps to really plan for the local stakeholders there where to go to really give people access to all those treatments for those who actually otherwise would not have those access. And this is a way in which we can co-create with them. And every month, we do send out these things for them to actually look at those places to increase the access of people to care, for example. The take-home message for today is really that more than ever before, the world needs you and me, and as a spatial engineer, it is important that we show this care, we show this empathy, not just by completing projects, but actually very mission-oriented to ensure that what we actually do solves the problem. And I could say, in all honesty, that this is indeed the best place to be if you're a student right now or you are thinking about considering this master's program. This is where you get to learn. And if you're already working on this pathway, always learn to contextualize the problems and learn to co-design and co-create interventions. This is a way, indeed, we can show care and give that care to everyone indeed. Thank you very much.